Tell you what I've been thinking about a bit recently. How much more women gossip about sex and intimate sort of sex stuff with their friends than guys do. I think that women presume that guys are super open about, and then I turned her over and I did this and she was like, and I was like, yeah.
That's gay.
And I have never had, maybe when you first start having sex,
yeah,
and you're like 19 or some shit, and like everybody in your friend group is kind of just is this normal to do that thing? And oh yeah, I do that too. But you get to 22 or whatever as a guy, and no one is talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
No one's asking their friend over a beer what him and his girlfriend or one night stand get up to in the bedroom. It makes my fucking toes curl to think about that.
Because then you're just imagining your friend having sex.
Kind of. It seems it's sort of like a bit of an invasion of privacy. You're basically asking to kind of imagine your mate's girlfriend doing that. It's a little bit crossing the boundary with him too. Like, what is it? Are you asking this because you want to imagine me and what I'm doing? And then I know there's just something a bit sort of fucking no. Like, that's your area.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the same with girls.
I'm maybe an anomaly because a couple things. For me, my biggest turn on in a relationship is respecting the person. And if I'm
fucking gay turn on. Such a shit turn on.
What?
Who wants to be respected?
Okay, so if I say
choke
money,
me while you respect me.
If I say money, I'm disgusting. If I say a car, I'm disgusting. If I say a good job, I'm disgusting. But if I say I respect him, I'm an idiot.
Hand or a good set of shoulders?
No.
I don't know.
Well, I respect that if you put time and energy into respecting yourself, kind of thing.
Okay.
But I always think that whenever I talk to my guy friends and girlfriends, if you're gossiping about your person with other people, you might not respect that person. I found that in the past, if I'm like, yeah, is this normal in the bedroom? Or he did this in the bedroom. I'm like, oh, I don't respect him enough because I'm willing to share this,
All right. It's an invasion of privacy that you're opening up because you don't actually care.
Exactly. Yeah. Or it's like, I don't respect this person. Now I'm going to let everybody else have this thing in their head that he's a goofball or whatever, So I stop. If I found myself doing that, I would just end the relationship because I'm like, oh, that's a first indication. I'm gossiping about my person. I really think that no matter what, I always tell my girlfriends, I don't want to hear about your guy's porn addiction. I don't want to hear that he was texting with another girl because you're going to break up if you're already telling me that.
Well, how many, just thinking about sort of the actual public front showing of this, how many podcasts are owned by Spotify or bought by Spotify are girl talk? It's girl talk with fucking Cindy and Lindsay, and all they do is talk about their one night stands and what happened, blah blah, and this is the position that I like, and if you tried it to do this way, I know of no, even the most degen autist red pill manosphere podcast do not get to that. There was a brief period where there was like this odd campaign where going down on girls is gay was like a sort of movement that was being pushed by it. But
why? Because it's like sub or something.
Yeah,
kind of serving the woman.
Yeah, exactly. Beyond that,
it's like sucking her dick or something.
Yeah, kind of. I honestly think that was
going
it.
down on a trans girl, maybe for sure.
But beyond that, like literally, that was the closest I've ever heard the sort of, most unencumbered, total explicit, open door policy guy podcast get to one that there's a whole fucking subgenre of them for chicks. So it's real interesting, And
it's also like, I always try to go, how has this existed? Just look different, like the way that I stopped checking my email every 10 minutes is I just visualized, imagine if 30 years ago you watched someone walk to their mailbox, check if there was anything, and then walk back into the house. And then 10 minutes later, check. Like, it's this, we're doing the same thing, right? Like, how is it different? Like, I'm like, this is a crazy person being like, do I have any mail? Do I have any mail? Like, it's psycho. I think that like, is it equivalent to, guys in their garage have a poster of a hot girl and, that kind of thing. I think men are more visual and women are more verbal. So guys have Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, and that's kind of how you share in gossiping about girls, but it's like just looking at hot girls or something. Whereas we don't have that really. It's sort of more like this guy called me and then he didn't text me back. I'm like, fuck him, And my bigger, I think it's fine. We're in America, free speech, whatever. I think the bigger thing is when it's motivated by revenge or motivated by wanting to be a victim in some way, or I don't think embarrassing men or trying to humiliate men is a solution to any of their problems. And it, to me, just seems very self-destructive, because your whole thing is like men are trash, but no great man is going to ever want to be with you if this is what you do. You're not going to attract a king if you're acting like this, so it is what it is. I think that I try to just go, you know what? The world needs contrast, and you wouldn't be you if they weren't them. But I think the more interesting thing with the talking about what goes on in the bedroom, I think there is value in sharing intel of like, a guy did this. Is that weird? Is that normal? I think that's when people really share. It's like guys going, my girl keeps asking me to hit her. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hit her. Like,
that's different, though. Yeah. What I'm talking about is the sort of this weird open door policy about he does this and I like it and he tries that and we're trying to do this thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just that all guys are still sort of sexually unenlightened and they're not prepared to speak to their friends about it, or maybe they think that it's something. It's like I don't know. There's just an ick. There's an ick about that kind of open door policy, and I think most girls think that most guys talk like that around their friends. I just wanted to set the record straight. You know that I wonder if he's talking about how we have sex. You could imagine one of those memes and it's turned over. And it's fucking Warhammer 40K, or, he's like planning his fucking end of year accounts or something.
Yeah.
It's not guys talking about sex. I just felt like that needed to be.
I think that's, I really appreciate you saying that. All my friends are male comedians, so this is probably not where I can weigh in the most. I've heard things like light bulb pussy, battery pussy.
What's light bulb pussy?
It's when a girl's vagina like is tight and then it's like not as tight.
Oh.
Inside.
Oh. What? Oh, it's like that way. It's going that way.
Well, yeah, like a light bulb.
Yeah. But in that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
I thought it looks like one on the outside.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. No.
Fuck is that?
Like things like that. I've like heard this from just guys talking.
If it was the other way, if it was a light bulb that was upright, it would be like one of those things that you know when you need to hook a painting onto a screw, and you're like, well, dude, if it's too big at the top, you can just move it down to the bottom. But that like spacious, roomy inside, like one of those good New York apartments where you think there's no way it's going to be able to fit, and you're like, yeah, it's not bad. Vietnamese family could live in here.
I just think sex is so, it's just so like, I don't know, porn or whatever. It's just so everywhere. I mean, I'm more interested in talking about when you're in a relationship. Like, does your guy wash his jeans? Mine, are we, things like that. Are you washing your jeans, Chris?
No. No.
Never.
The maid does that.
Oh, no. But that's not what I mean. There's some jeans that aren't supposed to be washed. You're supposed to put them in the freezer.
What?
Washing your jeans.
Who puts jeans in the freezer? What does that do?
Okay, there's certain raw denim that you're not...
You spent too much time around Bobby Lee. You've
so
spent
true.
way too much time around Asians that spend $1,000 on a pair of fucking jeans.
Very true.
I can
exactly
tell.
Right, actually.
I can tell. These hipster fucking overpaid Hollywood.
You know what? You're actually very right.
If everybody came through to Austin, Texas and wore square-toed boots and a fucking cowboy hat. I have been using my 8-sleep mattress for nearly 3 years now, and I can't imagine life without it. If you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night due to your temperature, this is the game changer. 8sleep just launched their newest generation, the Pod 4 Ultra, which can cool down each side of the bed to 20 degrees below room temperature, keeping you and your partner cool, even in a Texas heatwave. And for those of you who snore heavily, it can detect your snoring and automatically lift your head a few degrees to improve airflow and stop it. This is unbelievable. It cools, it heats, it elevates, and it is clinically proven to give you up to 1 hour more of quality sleep every night. And they ship to the US, Canada, UK, Europe, and Australia. Plus, you can get $350 off your Pod 4 Ultra by going to the link in the description below or heading to 8sleep.com/modernwisdom using the code modernwisdom at checkout. That's EIGHT sleep.com/modernwisdom and modernwisdom at checkout. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip, you will love the full-length podcast with Whitney in all its glory right here. Go on.